Welcome back to Morning Live. Thank you very much for staying with the show. Of course, it's well after 20 past 8, but this focus on sport is actually going to be focused on Swallows FC because they've launched a crowdfunding campaign yesterday for the revival of the football club and it's to return to former glory. Members of the public have been invited to invest by buying shares into the soccer team. Director of the agency responsible for the model, Collective Funding Africa, and an interim board member, Linda Khumalo, joins us to tell us a little bit more. A very good morning to you and welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
Of course, we've come a lot later to this interview than we had already expected because of the news of the passing of Ray Phiri. And you had actually said to me when he was diagnosed and the news came out that he actually did have lung cancer, he too looked at a crowdfunding model for the medical bills.
There's actually an article that we just picked up this morning that talks to that, but unfortunately the crowdfunding campaign was pulled out, I think because there was no agreement with the family, which talks to what crowdfunding is and how it's supposed to be put out there in the market. It's actually an interesting development.
Okay, so what is crowdfunding? Because for a lot of tech-savvy people, it's almost a donation type of platform where you see a cause, you like the cause, you give money to it. But it seems the one that is being used for the revival of Swallows FC is not quite that because you're giving out shares. Explain it to us.
So crowdfunding is nothing new to our lives. We grew up doing crowdfunding. I mean, I remember, people used to have building funds, doing things, communities pulling, resources together. The Nelson Mandela Children's Hospital was built using crowdfunding. They raised about 10 billion rands using crowdfunding. So there's nothing new about crowdfunding, but it's just like Uber. Uber came in, taxi hailing, they used an app. So crowdfunding is nothing but using technology to get the community to participate in pulling together resources. So in South Africa, it's not new, but because of the fact that it has a potential to set new trends, there's a need for it to be regulated. So as an agency, we're working with the Financial Services Board where we're saying, let's come up with a new way of regulating this new trend. So we have an organization called South African Association of Crowdfunding, SACROF, where we are coming up with regulations to say, how do you make sure it is done properly? And we also have started working with Susan Zaluba Kobodo, who have also agreed to look into how they will support us on the Swallows FC project, because you have to be responsible when you're taking people's funds. Now, there are different ways in which those funds can be used. One, it can be used for the community purposes, but another way of crowdfunding is when people say, I have an idea, I have a project, I have a company, I have something that I'm doing. So if you crowdfund with me in this project, you will have financial and non-financial benefits. So there are different categories of crowdfunding projects.
Right. So different types of rewards, in other words, for putting your money into a project, into an idea.
Yeah, but maybe what we look at, maybe let's just say there are different categories of crowdfunding projects. You can have a crowdfunding project where you put money, there's no return, like the Nelson Mandela Children's Hospital. Sure. You put money, there's no return. There are other crowdfunding campaigns where someone can say, I'm starting a restaurant, help me, I won't give you money back, but I'll put in a menu, I'll put Joe's, I don't know, pumpkin soup, something like that. So that would be an example. And then there's another one, which is called Category 4 under SACROF, where you put money, you will get financial and non-financial returns such as dividends and so forth and so on. So those are different categories of crowdfunding projects.
And would that Category 4 be what you're offering those people that get behind reviving Swallows?
Exactly.
What is the status? Just quickly, I'm so sorry, but we have run out of time. What is the status of the club? Because the interim chairperson, Panyazi Lesufi, who also happens to be the MEC for Education here in Gauteng, he was in court less than a month ago to try and stop the liquidation of the club.
So he's not stopping the liquidation of the club. There is a managed process between Swallows, Moroka Swallows and the owners of Moroka Swallows and the whole leadership of Moroka Swallows to say, how do you revive the club and managing all of these legal challenges that they have. So there is a managed process that is leading to liquidation. It is not a process that they are not welcoming. It's a process that I think they are welcoming because it will help to clean up the club and make sure that the club is going to be in a better position to move forward.
The money money from the crowdfunding, is it going to be used to pay off old debts?
So the money from the crowdfunding will help to revive the club, but it will also deal with some of the challenges that were never managed before within the Moroka Swallows challenges. So for people who want to participate, we do have the website on revivingswallows.com, and those who would want to do it via SMS, there's also an SMS platform where people can do, you can dial 21 and space name, space surname, and the number of shares you want to have onto 45901. Then you will be able to interact with the platform. But the Moroka Swallows, the Reviving Swallows.com is the best platform that people can go in to engage, because it will set a new trend on how soccer is managed in our country, where people can be supporters and shareholders and owners of the club. That is the idea of the project.
Lovely stuff. Linda Khumalo, thank you very much for coming into our studio and just chatting to us more about the Reviving Swallows campaign. That concludes your sport actually here on Morning Live. Still more to speak about though before 9 o'clock. That's up after the break.